No, man, you know what I mean? Because, he came up to me talking shit. So as a result, I decided to talk shit back. Because I can't fight, you know what I mean? So I think that sometimes you got to just say the most offensive things that you can think of, you know what I mean? If I can't hurt you physically, I can hurt you emotionally by way of words, and that's just the way I. Oh, shit. Hey, guys, what's up? I'm doing a Grandpa Joe. Welcome to Dinner in My Trunks. Me and Trunks was just having a conversation. I was just asking him, why do you say things that just hit to the heart, hit to the core, and he kind of caught us in the middle of him explaining. I gotta leave, man. I mean, we got to do a podcast, Trunks. Yeah, but I got to do my entrance. You have to do your. As I said, we were in the middle of discussing why he says things like that, and it's understandable. Trunks has got up there in age, a lot of things have changed in the XTV industry, and some stars aren't as physically built and fit as they once were. And I'm gonna kick your ass too. Here he comes, Big Trunks Thematic, talking that shit like on air, you bitch. I'm gonna get you, bitch. Well, the ding machine's back. Big Trunks Thematic, you're quite successful. You had a match with a monster. I'm gonna kill that nigga. God, here we go. No, man. I can't stand monsters. I mean, yeah, I've let my opinions be known on how I feel about monsters commissionership, and I don't like it. I just feel like, going to school, in my opinion, I understand that I'm a minority on this. Everybody want to be on Monster's dick. But it is what it is. I've always stood on my own since, not since coming to XTV, but since I decided to do F&K with the best, even though that was a joint venture, I've always stood on my own and maintain who I was. When I first came into XTV, of course, I was under Grandpa Joe in pain, and I wasn't really myself. But I'm being honest, man, because if I don't, who will with me? When I say I don't like Monsters commissionership, us going to school, there may be some good in it. I'm just not saying it because the simple fact of the matter is this, guys, all right? And the simple fact is we aren't doing XTV as much. You know what I mean? And it's bad enough that we wasn't doing XTV as much then, because what were we doing? We were working on Candace Family Live Without Drama. We were working on The Cosby Show. We were working on multiple projects, But us going to school limits our output or input of XTV content. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, we're going to a school doing work that we don't want to do to try to get in the industry that we don't want to be in. I've watched a few documentaries, folks, and a lot of people talk about the same things that I'm talking about, my same grievances. It's just, you live in this life, this mundane life, and this was just a commercial too. You live in this mundane life of doing all this shit you don't want to do to please somebody you don't like. You know what I'm saying? Just to stay afloat in life. Like, to me, that's a form of slavery. It's like you just doing this just to be, not doing nothing. And it's like, I feel like if you truly want to struggle, you need to struggle for what you believe in and struggle for what you know. We can go back in the day with slavery. Speaking of slaves, you know what I'm saying? It's like, shit, some of them, Marcus Garvey, all of them, some of them fought, you know what I'm saying? To like really, Marcus Garvey probably ain't even the right person I'm thinking of, but some of those guys like really fought to get success, fought for what they believed in, is what I'm trying to say. And that's just what I'm on. I fight for what I believe in, and it is what it is if people got a problem with it. I don't think Corey had the best decision. I mean, yes, we do need an education. Yes, but in the field that we are educated in, it would enhance us to continue going further with our goals. You know, computers is cool, but let's be real. I don't give a fuck about an ITX motherboard, a micro ATX, whatever these shits called. I don't give a damn about none of these damn things. You know what I mean? I guess the most decent thing we have learned so far is how to replace different parts of the PC. You know, that's like the most decent thing. But everything else, you don't give a damn about unless you a fucking nerd that just talk too much, like the dude that sit next to me in my class. Sorry. But you know, you get into things to explore things and learn things, and sometimes the things you get into aren't good. And that's just where we happen to be, guys. Just did an exam because we also getting our high school diploma as well. We're trying to get our CNT, you know, college diploma, and we're also trying to get this high school diploma. And I just did the exam for the high school. I keep just getting the 57. You're supposed to get a 60% to complete, but I keep just getting 57%. I feel like it's some bullshit because sometimes the questions switch the fuck up. You don't really know what the fuck to study to. You know what I'm saying? Because the questions will switch up. 1 minute I'm learning about Dred Scott, then I'm learning about the Oklahoma land rush, then I'm learning about Manifest Destiny, you know, then I'm learning about some way left shit that I ain't even get a chance to read about because it's a lot of shit to read. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot. And you only got so much time to read it because I also got regular classes for CNT. You know what I'm saying? I also got work. I got things to do. I actually have a life. You know what I mean? And so it's like you reading all these different things and trying to get a grasp of this, trying to get a grasp of that. So, but you can read enough, but you can't read every fucking thing. Like, you know what I mean? Realistically, you can't. You know, you can. And then the bad part with the exam is you can't go back to like the little textbook thing that they got to, you know, go over it, or like you'll get kicked out the exam. You know what I mean? They think that that's cheating. Going over your damn fucking book that they gave you is cheating to them. It's a lose-lose situation with this shit. It's basically what I'm saying, folks. But we'll see how far it goes. April 15th, my last day. Some of y'all niggas can suck my motherfucking dick. But that's personal. I'm beating Monster's ass, ladies and gentlemen. The feud's not over. Now, this morning's podcast is going to have a guest. We had her husband on my podcast. It did pretty great. Thank you to the fans. Thank you to the XTV East Coast. Shout out to J&W Boss. Shout out to J-Dog. Shout out to NEW. Shout out to Super Kick Gamer Party. Shout out to all y'all guys, man. Thanks for supporting the channel, supporting XTV. Y'all continue to get the word out there, man. You know, we definitely finna, you know, we've been learning about industry booming, you know, as far as high school shit. You talk about an industry booming, I feel like 2019, shit, we finna see a significant growth with XTV. You know what I mean? School damn sure ain't working out, but XTV wise, yes, this shit finna work out. Miami Beatdown still set to come, folks. Do not cry. That shit coming out, man. It's just, again, the bullshit I named on top of work and other different things I'm trying to, you know, it's a lot. And it's all Monster's fault. So, damn, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. This morning's guest, we had a husband on the previous episode. And she was just, he was just, you know, it's one of my favorites, you know, out of the two. He talked about her and, you know, she wants to put her opinion out there. And that's what this show is going to be for. It's for you to give the unapologetic, no mercy ass truth out. Like I just did for going on 10 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brandy Webb. But give me a second, I got to piss. Ugh. Come on in. I'm stuck. Oh, what's that? Oh, she's stuck, folks. No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Whoa. What damn architect made that type of damn door? Who can't fit in there? Jesus Christ. Oh. And you see my power chair? Yeah. I had to buy this because at Walmart, they rarely have these electric carts. Yeah. It's just all you have to do is sit on the cart and bring it in the building, then plug it up. It's not that hard, cart pushers. That's all you have to do is just get the electric cart, just like you push a cart, but you're sitting down. You sit in it, plug it into the wall. That's it. It's not hard. I'm sorry to be yelling at you, honey. I'm not yelling at you. Oh, it's okay. It's a frustrating day, but I'm happy to be on your podcast. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. I am so proud of you, Trunks. I just remember a point. And me and you go back, so you will probably remember. But I remember a point. It had to be maybe 05, 06, one of those dark times. I labeled you the best killer, of course, one of the baddest. Oh my God. Wow. I labeled all of you guys. It's just mischievous thugs. That's what I labeled you as. I thought you guys weren't going anywhere and this and that. And who knew? Who knew? You got your own podcast going on. You're doing really big things on XTV East Coast, XTV World. I'm watching you guys. I'm watching. And it's just amazing to see. We were high and mighty. Me and James. And, when you're, I gotta bring race into it. When you're Caucasian and you see these African American, urban, call it what you wanna, kids doing their little, Snoop says, thick dizzle. No, thug dizzle. I am way off. You're thug dizzle. You just kind of, you don't expect people like that to grow very long. You might be a good rapper, you might be a good R&B singer, but eventually you're going to get caught up, get life in prison, and nobody's going to remember you once you get out. That's just our mentality. Not that anymore, because you guys have surpassed that, in very major ways. You know what I mean? Well, Brandy, I appreciate that, because we already know that. Oh, really? Yeah. We already know that some white people just sitting there, as we just doing our thing, and we really minding our business. It looked thuggish to other people, but because, a nigga doing it. And we already know that, oh, she probably think I'm a thug. Let me just continue on and be successful and surpass her thoughts. So thank you for letting me surpass your thoughts. You're very welcome. So you started NXTV in like 96. You were, in a relationship with James. Your story's been told multiple times. I even think you was on Jazz Mars podcast, and you talked about your life here and there. Brandy, when y'all were at y'all highest as far as y'all career, how did you feel about that? And just go into that, your experience of being at the top. And I guess you can sort of talk about the bottom, Honestly, the highs were lows for us, because it depends on what you're saying a high is. Because when we were at the top, when we were at the very top now, we were having problems. James was cheating on me. James was cheating on me. He was doing drugs. He was doing coke. And I swear, oh really? Yes, on many occasions, I will catch him in there with some ugly street tramp hooker, and he's in there just, giving her the business. And I'm like, James, who's this street tramp hooker you got in my bed? And he's like, oh, it's a sex doll that talks, Brandy. We're rich now, so I just got a sex doll that talks and walks and does all these different things this bitch is doing right now. And I'm like, you're lying. You're lying through your fucking teeth. And we would have arguments, and luckily the neighbors, because we had two neighbors. We had neighbors adjacent to the side of us here, big mansion, and neighbors adjacent to the right side. And, they would hear us argue. Sometimes the neighbors to the left will think that we're doing some type of, they're doing some type of movie or some type of angle for HTV and, different things like that. But the neighbors to the right, they would be very concerned. But both of those two, what they have in common is they're both big fans of me and James. They were both big fans. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about one of the neighbors. They mowed their lawn one time and it had me and James's name. Oh man. Yes. And it was just beautiful. But, I guess internally, we were suffering. We were going through it. I mean, like I said, arguments upon arguments, fights upon fights. But, as far as when we were decent is at the drop off of his career is when things started to, shift low. And we started to get a little more closer because no longer was it the distraction of those women and, the excess amount of drugs. It was now more so personal, me and you, and love was back in the picture, but it wouldn't last long when little 007 got into his ordeals, Yeah, that's another thing, I was hoping you would jump into when, your son started to get into those things, and, he would just have these issues. Where did you stand? I'm a woman. I'm not going to be one of those feminist radicals and try to say, oh, I'm a woman, so I'm stronger than man or anything like that. I am definitely a woman. And just to be completely honest with you, sorry, I'm reading my Facebook feed. My friends Cheryl and Barbara were tagging me in some posts. I hate when they do that. But there's only so much a woman can do. I can't be a man. You know what I mean? I could seduce, back then I could, at least. I could seduce a man enough to replace James, you know what I mean? Be a better man or whatever. But, we had this bond. I never cheated on him. He cheated on me. He'll tell you that many a times. He might lie through his fucking teeth, but he will tell you, I cheated on that woman. I wronged her. I broke her heart. You know what I mean? But when Little 00 was going through that, I had to let it run its course. And believe me, I had nights where I would cry. I'm talking face drenched in tears, man. Thinking I'm going to drown to death in my own tears. It was that many tears, because I love my son. I really love him, and to see him have to go through that, go through the laws. I remember times he'll just stumble in our mansion, drunk, high off of something maybe, you know what I mean? Because eyes aren't supposed to look like that when you're drunk. And just slurring, slobbering, drooling, all this stuff coming in the house. And, then maybe like 4 a.m, police kicking the door. He's getting hauled off to jail. He's fighting. And, that started to bring a bit of a negative light on our names. Well, I actually was trying to, get into you talking about when little 007 had the ordeal with Dixie. That's been talked about here and there. Oh, God. Yeah. I could not have been more upset. Yeah. I was pissed off. I mean, as I said, I love my son. I love my family. All right, let me just not say son, because we have multiple kids. Uh, we had a kid 3 years ago, the 007. Man, you guys need to really use birth control. And I don't want to offend none of them, but I love him. You know, it's just that at this point, I didn't know what to believe. You know, because when you're successful, and even though we were having a drop off as far as popularity, we were still putting out material. You know, maybe this will work, maybe Driver 3 will work, or maybe this will work. You know, we were trying to do different things. James was, and you know, I was alongside of him. But when you're doing that, you know, when you're in the industry pumping out all of these different things, you're not really watching the people. You're not watching your household. You know, I was reading Steve-O's story, and he made mention of that. You know, how like they had this big mansion, it's huge, and all these different things going on, and how like, you know, the family dynamic was different because I think his sister was, you know, if I'm not mistaken, like maybe in Canada or something. His dad had Nabisco, like a business or something, and you know, Steve-O was doing his thing, and you know, his mom was drinking and all these different things. And like, you know, it's just when you have that dynamic of everybody doing their own thing, you don't really have a family. It's that old saying, the family that prays together stays together. You know what I mean? And we weren't praying and we weren't together. We all were on our own path, doing our own thing. So when this happened to him, sorry if I'm all over the place. Oh, no, it's completely fine. Sorry if I'm all over the place. But when we see the news, I know I'm a mother, but I didn't know what to believe. Man, I didn't. You know, us coming home from doing a film for like hours upon hours, then coming into our home, then seeing him come in there drunk just to see him get arrested at 4 a.m. You know, we don't know what to think. Then just to have to get up at 7 a.m. to shoot another film, we don't know what he is. You know, we know he's our son. You know what I mean? We know he has a key to our house. But when we hear the word rape, we're like, James is like, I don't put it past the motherfucker. Because at this point, James was done. Oh, man. James was completely, he's like, I don't care about him. I'm not going to acknowledge him as a son. I'm not going to. He was done. He was finished. Finito. But I, on the other end, I knew that he was my son, but I didn't know if he did it or not. You know what I mean? So I probably went to court with him 1 or 2 times, you know, and testified here and there, you know, and they kicked me out because they were saying, you know, it was all kind of drama. Well, damn, they kicked you out of court? Yeah, the first time there was no incident. You know, I was his mother. I was by his side. But the second time, I guess I talked bad about a reporter, or not a reporter, but the judge. You know, I didn't know I was being filmed. We were on some type of talk show, and you know, I just was just talking about the judge, and I was just saying how do you, and it's funny now, but I'm like, how do you manage to get yourself that fat? Furthermore, how do they find a robe that big to fit on that fat fuck? And the audio made its rounds. The judge heard it, felt some kind of way, and removed me from being, you know, in court alongside of my son. And, you know, I don't really know how long he did. I don't really know the outcome of the case. We still talk, you know, me and him. We're just kind of building up a relationship. I recall 2 years ago, 2016, or 3 years ago now. Wow, time. Or no, it is 2 years ago. And, you know, he did shoots on James, and, you know, James did a shoot on him. A little while after that, the family finally got to talking and things like that. And, you know, we're just rebuilding since that. So we haven't had time to talk about the court cases and the DUIs and the other many different things to happen, and factor in, those things. But it's just where it's at. An incredible story, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Brandy Webb. She basically thought I wasn't going to be shit. So true. Now, you had a professional wrestling career. Yes, yes. And, in XTV. And, I mean, at first you were with Sally. So tell us about the Trevelyan's, Alec is one of the kindest men that I've ever had the pleasure to meet, even to this day. I told Sally, I said, Sally, he's a keeper. He's a keeper. And yes, it's a Glade. He's a keeper. And, she's like, Brandy, I don't know. And I'm telling you. And I just knew from day one when I met him how he's able to make people laugh. How he's able to put a smile on people's face. People may be like, oh, he's trying to be like Ric Flair. He put a smile on your face. Yeah. He made you happy. You know what I mean? You're talking about it. So don't be so quick to insult Alec because he's doing something that's a little weird, a little bizarre, a little too left. He's doing it for entertainment purposes. He's an entertainer. That's his duty, to make you happy. And I just don't understand that about XTV. But me and her, we kicked it off immediately. That's James's brother, Alec's wife, and we just knew it from day one. And when we would team up, we would just have fun. You know what I mean? We'll go out there and have like some of the most fun. And XTV Westside, you Trunks, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta tell you, you know what I mean? To pull the curtain down a little bit, XTV East Coast, sometimes I really wanted to fuck the shit out of Sally. Whoa. I did, man, because I'll just put it to y'all like this. He did not want to fuck you. Man, shut up. No, I want to fuck Sally. And this is why. Damn it. We didn't know how Lara Croft talked. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, this is going to be controversial. No, man, just listen. Please don't cut me off, XTV East Coast, because only they gonna understand this. That's why I'm just kind of telling them. You know what I mean? Don't feel too uncomfortable. I think they already are. Shut up, man. Shit. It's just like when what's the name? Fuck Rick Steiner, damn it. It's just like, because, man, we didn't know how Lara Croft talked. You know what I mean? But y'all did y'all thing with her voice, by making it Sally's. You know what I mean? So to put her voice on Lara Croft's, this is getting uncomfortable. Next, let's just continue, Brandy. Oh my God. I can only imagine what Justin is thinking right now. You probably cut it off already. Let's move on. Let's move. So yeah. Athletic career. Oh yeah. I think the best I ever was as far as that was 2005. When I was Screaming Webb. You had an interesting angle around this time when you were Screaming Webb, where you and James fought. This was the time where, this is the Day of Reckoning era for those that don't know what that is. Day of Reckoning was a video game for the Nintendo GameCube, and it was very fun at the time. I'm pretty sure now by, how the industry is, it's not as good as it once was. But Brandy, you were on there and you were able to have intergender matches, women versus men. And you were on there and you took on James in a parts off match, or what was it called? I don't even remember I had to call this crazy ass match. You want to explain it? Yeah. A parts off match is basically James at the time in 2005, and Trunks, and he didn't talk about this. He made certain to talk about my weight and how big I've gotten, but he didn't talk about this. Just saying. James was Jamesy, and James was being a transsexual. and he had issues with Brandy, his ex-wife, and we let them dish it out on XTV. And James proposed the idea of having a parts off match. And what this match was basically James, if he would beat Brandy Webb, if he would win the matchup, he would get his dick or penis chopped off, and it would be given to Brandy. Brandy would get her vagina chopped off, or and it would be given to him, a parts off match, kind of like a trade, but if Brandy won, she would keep her parts, you know what I mean? But Brandy was fighting for it, and ultimately James won. And Brandy, some things are just so hard to look back on. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's just hard. Give her a tissue, man. Here you go. Here you go. It's just that. It's just that. Around this time, he was so far gone. I mean, you can look in the man's eyes, and you can tell if they've been through something, traumatizing or whatever. Sorry for crying. It's okay. You can just look into their eyes, but you can still see that soul, like, I'm still here, Brandy. And it was at this time where I would look in that man's eyes. I wouldn't even see the same man I married. I didn't know who the hell it was. And XTV was extremely wild around this time because we were trying to find ourselves. This is the TXG era. And it was just people running wild because we were trying to figure out, what is XTV now? It's no longer sides. What is it? So with rules and people running rapid and rampant, they just said they okayed the match. And to this day, you can hear it on cassette tape. Me get my privates, him get his privates cut off, all for the sake of entertainment. This is why there's censorship. Yeah. I'm not trying to be a soccer mom, but there is a fine line between entertainment and grotesque material. I am pissed that to this day that was released for a viewing audience who could be 15, 16, look up to James, look up to Big Trunks, look up to Pain, and for that, the fuck is that? Asinine. Man. After the match, Big Trunks, what was left of our marriage was hanging on by a thread. But I mean, it picked up once James did, I guess, some sort of Nazi gimmick. He started to get very abusive because I told him I was going to leave. And I just became very submissive when he first struck his hand on me. He reached back. And I mean, I just stood there because I'm like, he's not going to hit me. I never, at this point in my life, I never believed James was going to hit me. I never did. But when he lunged back, I didn't even brace myself. I didn't do anything. I'm like, he's not going to hit me. He's going to just say, he's going to hug me. He's going to say sorry. He's not going to hit me. But when that hand hit my face and I hit the ground backward, really hard, back first, and I looked up in disbelief, holding my eye as tears started to form up. And I see out the blurriness of my eye, which had tears in it, James. I see this angry face. I'm thinking he's gonna apologize like, Brandy, I didn't mean to hit you. You know, the lovey-dovey thing, the lovey-dovey type. But instead of doing that, he looked at me and said, say something to Gee, and walked out. From there, I felt defenseless. I honestly felt defenseless. I felt like there's nothing I could do. Those are cranes, ladies and gentlemen. We in a jungle. But yeah, I mean, you know, because just looking at you guys' relationship, you say it kind of, I mean, because when James was at his high, you guys were having problems. How long did these problems last? Because, like, you know, when GoldenEye came out, it was a big hit, and you said there were issues. I mean, because I'm thinking about things like Vice City. Were there problems then? I mean, I just feel like the love wasn't there. You know what I mean? What, like, we would put on, you know, it's similar to the social media movement that goes on. You know, some people, oh, I love whatever. And the next week you see that they're having this bitter breakup. You know, and it's just, that's just how it is. It's like, you know, well, that's how it was. You know, we would be on the red carpet at all these different events, you know, acting like, you know, sorry guys, give me 1 second. We would act like, you know, things were great, but sometimes things weren't great. You know, we literally just had an explosive argument. Now we're trying to, you know, fresh it up for the camera. Oh no, we love each other. No, he just called me a skunt whore bitch. A skunt whore bitch? Yeah, sometimes James would get really drunk and he would try to say skunk whore bitch, but he would be like, you skunt whore bitch. You know what I mean? Very angry and very red. So, you know, y'all haven't, oh yeah, the Nazi shit, Brandy. How are you with this? It's like I said, when James started to beat me, you know, on a bit of a regular, I just started to submit. You know what I mean? He was my bread and butter. You know, what are you going to do on your own? Who's going to buy a Brandy Webb tape or movie? And, you know, I was just so mentally not ready to try things for myself. So, you know, I just stayed with him and did what he did. You know, he was my Superman. What you mean you're Superman? Look up. The fuck? But anyway, yeah, he was it. He was the end all be all to me. And when he did the Nazi thing, I just was like, you know, I didn't want to join it. That's why I was just like, if black people touch me, I don't like them. You know, because I didn't know how to not like black people. You know, my friend Cheryl, we were friends for years. She's black, you know, and I mean, I upset her. I upset so many friends with that. You know that? You know, people like, do you know how many people you get? Because I get a lot of emails to this day, white supremacists. Do you know how many people love you for that gimmick? Do you know how many people I lost for that gimmick? I'm talking about friends that gave me things that not in a million years the racist people could give me. You know what I mean? Love and care, you know, and I just, it was a probably like one of the biggest mistakes of my career to do something like that, you know, because I lost traction of who I was, and I lost the people as a result of losing who I was. And, I look back on it with, you know, I mean, it is one of the highlight moments in XTV because it opened up, you know, and the Real World Season 2 in and of itself is just classic. I mean, you know, we can't talk about this enough because it just really gave XTV such a real view of how the world is to us, you know, to where we are. It just gave it that big fuck you '07, guys, and Brandy is so right, man. Like, just '07 is probably one of the best times for the XTV West Side, and my opinion. I'm pretty sure people, have different opinions, but as far as me, man, like I just feel like that was a time where all the hurt that I was experiencing in my life at that time was coming out in a very, just good way. And sometimes it happens here and there, it's little spurts of it, but I don't think it has been as incredible as that. You know what I mean? I hope it gets better than that. You know what I mean? But that's just it. I mean, just the content being put out by 90% yourself, FNK, and it was just some of the best material. And the thing is, it's like, usually shit get played out, folks. Like, I'll say when we recorded in 2006, shit, by early '07, you know what I mean? That shit was already done played out, you know what I mean? But with 2007, like to date, we can play that shit back, over and over again and not get bored of it, I mean, I call it the Martin TV show syndrome. Martin TV show syndrome. Clocking the holes. Sorry. But yeah, the Martin TV show syndrome, because Martin is a show that lasted like 5 seasons. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it got a lot of episodes, but it ain't got that many episodes, if you know what I mean. But like, you can still watch the shits over and over and not really get bored of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't get bored of that shit. It's similar to '07 recordings. You know what I mean? Like, even though it's actually a lot of tapes though, I mean, looking back, but it's just certain ones, man. Kind of like the Martin episode with the plumber and shit. You can watch that shit over and over and still be happy. You know what I mean? You can't get bored of that. If I was lost on and trapped on the island, I would have Martin season 1 with me. I wouldn't have no music. Just Martin season 1. Fuck everything else. But yeah, man. So yeah. So when World War II wraps up and James is getting beat by Obama supporters and all of this, what starts to happen? I finally build up enough courage to tell James, fuck off. Cause on that show, I of course went with his friend Richard. Another bad. I mean, this whole pit. That's why I say this is one of the worst decisions I have ever made. I decided to be a Nazi that had sex with this fat, nasty, and I'm talking nasty. Damn, like gross. Like just, he was so dirty, Trunks, where sometimes he'll be sleeping. And because he would sleep on the floor, he would visit our home and he'll sleep on the floor. Richard was so nasty that you'll just be sitting and you'll look at him and out of his pores randomly, green pus or something would just pop up, and it'll start off in one pore and then just work its way down and just be this big green thing on his arm, and it'll be liquid and diarrhea green gross looking, you know what I mean, coming out his arm slowly and then later on just coming down. And we'll just be like, Richard, look at that stuff on your arm. And he'll just get a napkin, wipe it off, and go back to sleep. It'll be smeared on his arm, and he'll go back to sleep, and you'll see out of the same pore that the green stuff came out, which is not wiped all the way properly, now it's blood coming out of it. What the fuck was wrong with this dude? I don't know. He was just that nasty where his body was just like randomly doing nasty things. Fuck. So yeah, but as far as James getting drunk, I mean, not getting drunk, but James getting beat by Obama supporters, I finally got to a point where I told him no. He was trying to beat me and all that, but I got a divorce, and it was for the best, because he had to really hit rock bottom, and he had to go to rehab in 2010. He's been clean since 2010. And I got into my endeavors. Yes, Brandy, you're really big at this point. Yes, 300 plus. I know. Nobody's giving me credit. I was 310 last week. I'm 300 now. Something in applause. Nothing. Now, James came over here, and you said you want to set the record straight. I have a friend. Okay, for anybody that's about to listen to this part, please do me a favor. Go back and listen to the James podcast, okay? He says he had a temper tantrum. He had a temper tantrum and seen Twinkies and all kind of food come out my dresser. Those weren't mine. None of that food was mine. You know, that was Barbara's. She stayed the night at my house. She's also morbidly obese. Okay? She stored it there. You know what I mean? She calls it comfort food. You know? Why are you spouting? There's things called support animals. She has support food. Okay? She said I could have some to test it out. So that's why I had some of the cream on my face. Because I wanted to make sure it was comforting enough. You know, so I definitely tried some. You know, a few of them actually. James loses his damn mind. Blows up at me. And he's cutting this damn promo. If you dare, baby, eat another Twinkie, you're out of here. And he's just acting like a madman. You know, he's like, what is this? And his hair's everywhere. And I just didn't understand it. Well, where are y'all now with it, Brandy? He showed up last week. And he was just telling me, Brandy, this is what we're going to do. You know, we had a real talk, though. We had a real talk. And he's just saying, look, I love you. I want our kids, our grandkids' kids, and our grandkids' kids, and those grandkids' kids to know how incredible their mother was. I want you to be here another 10 or so years. After that, I'll let you kill yourself because I'll probably be dead by then. But Brandy, I love you. So instead of just doing the, you know, trying to force you to lose weight, the PE coach approach, I guess what I'm going to do is, you know, just use alternatives to what you already like to eat. And that's basically where we are as far as my weight loss. Like I said, I was 310. I'm 300 today. And, you know, I'm still doing, you know, little small exercises to, you know, lose weight. And so, you know, we've just been finding alternative. I like burgers. I like fries, veggie patties, you know, homemade potatoes, you know, type of fries and stuff like that, because that's a lot healthier for you. And less salt, you know, less sugar intake. And, you know, we're just trying to figure this thing out. It's a little bit rough because me and James are rebuilding, but, over time, my goal is to get back to the appropriate weight for me, you know, 46-year-old woman. That's great, Brandy. So, I mean, where you at as far as XTV right now? You know, like when you do get, I guess, you know, your appropriate size, do you see yourself coming back and, you know, being in the ring? I see myself doing commentary. Yeah. Yes. Miss Pac-Man was talking to me the other night, and, you know, she was just saying, like, you know, we need to, because with the new XTV Westside Live events, a lot of ideas been sprung up. One of them being is that maybe, you know, when the women's matches come out, maybe women should call those matches, you know, because we're thinking about just breaking up the commentary teams, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of chaotic with the commentary teams, you know, Grandpa Joe might come out of nowhere, monster or something. Fuck that nigga. But, so yeah, we're thinking about, you know, breaking it up like that, like me calling the women's matches and Miss Pac-Man, and yeah, I forgot to say, that's the latest news too, ladies and gentlemen. NXTV may not happen. Instead, it'll just be all together, you know, XTV, West Side, everything that's on the West Side, including the new rookies and everybody, you know, just kind of mixing it up. So y'all look forward to that. You okay, honey? No, I'm fine. I mean, yeah, I'm fine. You sure? Yes. I think it's these bitch ass allergies. But yeah, Brandy, I want to thank you for coming on here. Thank you for having me. Get better architectures. Get better architectures. I want to thank you, and I support you losing weight. Congratulations on your progress so far. And, you know, I look forward to you on commentary. I look forward to whatever you do next. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Big Trunks D-Matic, a nigga with nothing to lose. The guy that still has no name. I didn't even introduce myself at the beginning of the show. We out of here, y'all.